4 o'clock, and we'll call this November 20th meeting of the Parks and Rec Commission to order. I'd like to remind anyone in the audience, if you have something you wish to speak on that is not in the agenda today, you can fill out a green card and turn it in if you have something that you'd like to speak on. Our first order of business today is approval of the minutes from the September 18th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, passes unanimously. Next up will be public forum for any item not on the agenda. Hearing none, move forward. Next up, introduction of Amy Brecky, Principal Clerk, and Devin Hatch, Recreation Manager.
Yeah, if we could, here we go. If we could get Amy and Devin, if you just want to come up to the podium. So Amy is our new principal clerk. She is actually going to be housed out of the Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center. So she just just actually started this week. And then Devin has a couple of weeks under his belt, and Devin is our recreation manager. So I'll just let them just give a couple of little tidbits about them and why they chose Ames and what's going well so far. So who wants to go first?
All right. My name is Devin Hatch. Like Keith said, I've been here almost a month now, and originally from Boise, Idaho. The last couple years, I've been working in West Central Minnesota for Wilmer Parks and Rec. I have some experience running the competitive programming out in Minnesota. I was looking for a new opportunity, and Ames was a great opportunity to kind of expand my work history, and I'm excited to get involved with this community and see what it has to offer. But
Awesome.
Welcome, Amy.
Welcome. Amy Brecky. I was in the utility department here in City Hall for almost 4 years and just decided to make the switch over.
Wow. Well, welcome. We're obviously very passionate about Parks and Rec and appreciate you guys coming on board.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we'd love to have them on our team. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Next up, we're going to do an ISU class presentation.
Yeah, and with this, we're going to introduce Mayor Hala. He's going to come up and give us a little more background and why we have two groups here speaking to us tonight.
Thank you, Keith. And first of all, on behalf of City Council, thank you for all you do. You're a hardworking commission. It's not lost on us. And I think I see you about the most of any commission members or board members at our different ribbon cuttings. So thank you for your efforts. Approximately a few months ago, I was approached by Iowa State and Kim Moss, who's here, that there's a I can't even say this right, Healthpalooza. It's a competition. And this is the second annual. Is that right, Kim? And it was going to focus on community fitness. And so the students, end up being 10 teams from different colleges that I think they get assigned individually to a team. And they have 1 week to come up with a solution. And there was a panel from Mary Greeley, Deb Schildroth was there. I was there, and we just talked about a lot of questions and topics about community fitness. And I have to eat a little crow because I encouraged them to not do an app, and the first place winner was an app. But I think when you see it, you'll see why. And then I had the honor of serving on the judges panel. But I shared with the participants that we needed something which was easy to implement, low cost, that gets people out in the community, sustainable, and that I would recognize somebody or a group that I thought was worthy of a mayor's commendation for doing something that was innovative. And turns out the first group you're going to hear from received that commendation because I think it's something that can be quickly implemented if you approve. So tonight, they're going to go ahead and they have 5 minutes to give you a presentation, 5 minutes for question and answer. Second one comes up, and I'll just draw it to close. My hope is that you would agree, but it's not required. But if you agree that this is worthy of looking at further, I would just ask that you would ask staff to meet with these teams. And the goal is to have something implemented by April of next year. So we're not just taking something and putting on a shelf. And by the way, this was not really designed necessarily just to be for the city of Ames. They actually presented at Mary Greeley first Friday of the month to show, because Mary Greeley is also a sponsor of that as well too. So anyway, I think there's incredible creativity, innovation. And so I'm going to introduce or ask Emma Rios and her fellow team member. Apparently one of them is not here. She is sick, to come up, and they are Team Passport. And when you introduce yourself, the timer will start.
And with just as they're getting set, you have a couple of different pieces of information in front of you. So the map and the passport is what the two of them are going to be kind of going through here.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting us. We are your second place winners for the fall 2025 Helpapalooza. My name is Emma Rios.
I'm Catherine Watkins.
And then unfortunately, our third member, Susanna, could not be here with us today. But our project was to create a passport and map to Ames. Today, we wanted to share our idea for strengthening community fitness in Ames by building a culture of movement.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. Building a culture of movement, active engagement, and promoting accessibility. Our focus is simple. We want people of all ages, backgrounds, and abilities to feel motivated and supported in becoming more active.
We know that fitness does not begin in a gym. It begins with everyday movement, taking a walk, exploring a nearby park, or choosing to spend time outside. Our goal is to create a community where staying active feels natural, enjoyable, and safe. To accomplish this, we are introducing a set of tools and ideas designed to educate, engage, and inspire the people of Ames. One of our priorities is improving accessibility. Movement should be available to everyone, regardless of experience level or physical ability. By promoting safe walking routes, clear maps, and varied trail options, we hope to make physical activity both inviting and achievable for the entire community.
Our approach centers around one of the simplest and most accessible forms of movement, walking. Walking connects people, reduces stress, and encourages exploration of the environment. To support this, we developed a comprehensive map of parks and trails across Ames. This model has already been proven elsewhere. A similar mapping approach was used in the Chicago area, where residents discovered that they lived much closer to the parks and trails than they had realized. As awareness grew, so did outdoor activity. We expect a similar outcome in Ames, where awareness alone can help increase activity and engagement. The map is clear, easy to navigate, and designed for all ages. The simple key includes symbols showing available amenities at each park, making it easier for individuals and families to plan their route. We also incorporated intensity levels from 1 to 3. Currently, our trails are rated by Universal AllTrails.com, but for the future, it can be updated by Ames residents as they rate their experiences. Whether someone prefers a gentle walk or a more challenging route, they can select paths that match their comfort and ability. This helps people participate at their own pace while still feeling supported. By using what Ames already provides, rather than proposing new construction, we are promoting accessibility, safety, and engagement through enhanced visibility and awareness. With these tools in place, more residents can confidently explore the outdoors and feel connected to their community.
To keep our community engaged long-term, we created a physical passport inspired by the successful national and state passport systems. Currently, the passport includes several trails in Ames, and in the future, there will be multiple additions specified for each of the different areas of town. The passport is designed to do more than record progress. It turns walking into a personal challenge, a goal-setting tool, and a source of motivation. Participants can use it to identify trails that they want to explore, to track where they've been, and celebrate their milestones. At the halfway point or at designated overlooks, walkers can hole punch their passport, and after completing each trail, they can rate their experience. When the passport is fully completed, participants can turn it in to the local library and receive a small reward, like a patch or a pin, to acknowledge their dedication. The passport also includes conversation starters designed for groups walking together. These prompts help people connect, reflect, and engage with one another, transforming a simple walk into a shared experience. Beyond motivation, the passport also serves educational purposes. It includes prompts to observe local flora, fauna, and wildlife, as well as simple instructions for pressing flowers and leaves, seen on pages 12 and 16. By encouraging people to learn from and appreciate their surroundings, we hope to deepen their connection to local nature. In the end, our vision is to create multiple editions of the Passport, each holding a stronger community culture of movement. Through accessible trails, clear information, and small sources of motivation, we believe Ames can become a place where fitness is both inclusive and enjoyable. Thank you.
Yeah, that was very good. Thank you for the presentation. I'll open up to our commission for questions about your presentation.
Emma, Catherine, thank you. Great presentation. So what about folks that have disabilities? They're not able to walk like many of us are in this room. Are there trails that are rated for folks that have disabilities like that?
We were looking for that sort of information. We couldn't find it online, and we did not feel qualified to make that call ourselves. So if we had the help of somebody more experienced, that would definitely be something to include in both the map and the passport.
Yeah. I really like the idea of people getting together to walk. That's something we're lacking today. So well done.
Thank you. And I will also add to the first part of your question. The hope is that through awareness, we can also maybe start to raise money to expand trails to make them easier for people in wheelchairs or with walkers.
Yep. Thanks.
I love the fact that it's a concrete thing that you have in your hand. You know, I can see people with kids, grandkids using this, you know, so that's other than having it on your phone, because you could have also done this on the phone. But I like the fact that it's a paper copy. Where do you see people finding these maps and things? Would you put these out at the parks? Would you have to pick them up at the library and your passports? Where do you see that happening?
That would honestly just be wherever they would be able to find it, I guess. It could be blown up and put as more of a directory at the start of a trail. Or I know that some other trails like back home have them outside in bins. But something along those lines would be great.
Yeah.
Whichever would be easiest for residents to come across would be
Right.
the best option.
Right.
And as for the passports, yeah, I was thinking a similar thing where you could go pick them up at the library, pick them up, drop them off at the library, or mailing in a form or emailing something and receive one in the mail.
Right. I think the library would be a good point, just because you have a lot of people and that's where you're turning them in. So,
Exactly.
yeah. And the maps could be there too.
Yeah.
And you maybe could even put them at the parks, you know, somewhere where the signage is or something.
Mhm.
Great idea. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So have you already had conversation with the library about this being a drop-off point, or with, you said, get little tokens or different things?
We have not yet. At the time when we were creating this, we were still very, TBD. It's all very hypothetical. At this point, we are going to begin looking into asking them if that would be something that we could do.
So I'm curious with this, because we think of trails, you think of parks and recreation. A lot of the trails are in the parks. You really didn't mention anything about picking things up at parks facilities, recreation facilities, buildings. There really was no mention about having parks and recreation involved with this. So I'm just curious, was that just an oversight, or was there some strategy to not involve parks and recreation?
Not intentional whatsoever.
As for putting in posts to hole punch your passports, the only reason we didn't think of including Parks and Rec directly was due to the cost. We're trying to think of, maybe this could be a volunteer thing that the Boy Scouts do or something or the Girl Scouts put in posts in the ground to help make that, and then also be a little more cost effective. And yeah, in the future too, as well, we could definitely include more of the Parks and Rec buildings and include them more in our ideas.
Job well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, incredibly creative in a short time period. It looks really good. Thanks for you guys' work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the other challenge I had to him was keep it low cost. And something like this, we could get photocopied downstairs and trying to minimize the administrative involvement too. So I think they hit it on all cylinders, but I really appreciate the questions and Keith, your questions, because I let them on their own, and this is real world experience getting grilled on their ideas. And so good questions. So, all right. The other presentation is from Team Active Ames, and Leah Lonan and her partner are going to come up and share this. And I think that both this presentation and the other one could be built upon also and expanded. Let's see, when was the competition we judged? It's only a few weeks ago, right? I'll say this for Team Passport, they just had a trifold board. That's it, no PowerPoint. These people had a PowerPoint. So they produced a PowerPoint in a couple of weeks, plus going to school. That was a requirement. So anyway, so they really, they're working very hard. So anyway, by the way, you were 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Good job. You're on. Your time starts as soon as you introduce yourself. Go ahead.
All right, good afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for having us. It is an honor being here. My name is Leah Lonan.
And my name is Indra Patmuk, and we are Active Ames.
Okay, so do you ever wish that there was an easier way to exercise and stay active with your community? Like you could go and find a schedule that has all of your personalized needs to it. Well, we conducted a survey here of Ames residents, so you can see we're representing a large demographic here. We asked them a few different questions, such as if they were aware of the variety of fitness classes provided by the City of Ames or Iowa State, how many parks they were aware of, as well as if they had more awareness and information consistently given, would they be interested?
So our survey results show that people want to be active and involved, but many don't know where to find them, or there's no such a system that brings all of them together. And that's why we came up with the Active Ames app and the Active Ames calendar. To talk more about the key features of the app, when you open the app, you'll see the personal dashboard that organizes your weekly schedule for you. And also you can see all the activities happening in the Ames. We also have the friend activity section, so you can join what your friend doing, making it like staying active more social and motivating. We also have the group activity section where you can see community engagement, community events, and clubs to join, while having personal achievement section where you can earn badges for staying consistently active. We also have Discover Ames section where you can see, explore through all the parks here in Ames, and we will host a photography contest for people to take a picture at this monthly featured park and take a picture and upload it for the chance to be featured next year, making it more motivating, engaging, and raising awareness about the parks in general.
So you can see here, we use Ines Grove as an example. It's a commonly known park here in Ames. How many times do you go to a park and you're wondering if they have a water fountain or a restroom or handicap accessible parking? Well, you can look here on our app and you can find those amenities as well as the sports amenities as well. Then we also used Ada Hayden as an example as well. As many of you know, it was recently under renovation. So when we created the slide a few weeks ago, the estimated renovation date was November 13th. And so we will provide weekly updates so you aren't having to travel to the park itself to see if it is under renovation. We also provided key amenities such as like the paved hiking trails with milestones, the native prairie, and then a kayak ramp. If you're coming out of town and you want to go fishing here, you don't really want to drive all the way to Ames to see if there really is a kayak ramp or not and if it's accessible. So this brings you to the question, what if you don't like using your phone or you might not have access to a phone? Well, that brought us to the idea of creating a calendar where you can have it emailed or mailed to you. If you guys look over at that little flyer that we have provided up there, you can turn it over and there is a survey there that you can fill out and you can bring it up to the front desk. So then we can either email you or mail you monthly calendars and it will be personalized to your own needs. And then to also include information about parks, we will also have the general park amenities and the sports amenities on that, as well as the hours. So you still have the resources without having to use your phone.
Mm-hmm.
So we have already received support from the Ames Public Library as well as 60 Forward to put these flyers in office for their participants to use. So here is a monthly schedule as well. You can kind of see a little bit more in detail. We include the individual prices, the classes, the 6-week session prices as well for residents and non-residents. And then all of the classes that are 6-week sessions will have asterisks near them. So you aren't going to a class maybe midweek and you know that you can't just go there for an individual class. And then you can also see that they are all color coded as well with the information such as the room and then location. So you're not having to go on your phone at all to find any of this information.
So we identified a few challenges and suggested some solutions. For LoveTech adoption among seniors, we're going to provide paper version and training sessions at 60 Forward. To maintain updated event data, we're hoping to partner with City of Ames for monthly updates. And for privacy concerns with user data, we're going to collect only non-sensible information, so no GPS tracking. And for the sustainability and maintenance, we're hoping to collaborate with ISU students. We're actually scheduled to meet with faculty from digital health from kinesiology and health department of ISU. We're potentially hoping to talk about including collaborating with students for this project. And here are some of the benefits. It enhances longevity and mental health by promoting healthy lifestyle, which reduces chronic disease risk, and it's going to build stronger social and community ties. And addressing this now will capitalize on existing infrastructure that Ames already have and make it a model city for community wellness in the future.
So our implementation plan, we're currently in fall of 2025, where we have already created the mock-up and then also conducted the surveys. And then in January 2026, we'll send out a pilot program to 50 to 100 residents here in Ames, receive some feedback, see what we can improve for the initial launch. In spring of 2026, we'll expand it to all of Ames residents. That's where we're hoping to partner with the City of Ames to send out some updates and include it in the monthly newsletters as well. And so funding, that is where we are asking to hopefully partner with the City of Ames to receive your guys' support to help us bring this to life. And then any questions or comments?
5 minutes and 1 second.
Oh,
That was close.
Well, good job on the timing. I'll open up to commissioner questions.
You packed a lot into that
Yeah.
5 minutes. So well done. And thank you for letting me know where the restrooms are and all these extremely important information. So if you go through with this, how will you know if you've succeeded? What are your measurements, your metrics, your benchmarks for success?
So we're hoping to track engagement. We're with our pilot program. That's where we're hoping to, we're going to send it out to the 100 people. We'll track their engagement. We'll have them come back to us and tell us how engaging it was for them and if it really was helpful for them to use. So we'll use that. And then with the initial launch, we can see like how many people are going with their friends. And we'll also track the engagement rates with classes as well.
I'm going to ask you, Keith, how much of this crosses over with what Park and Recs already has as far as, their chart, their lists, the one page with all of this, the scheduling and we have website. How much does it cross over?
Yeah, we do have, calendars
Yeah.
that we have.
Yeah.
We have our program guides, which list a lot of the activities, that we have. Even if you look back to the passport, the page that they have with all the different amenities, we have some of that. We do not have an app, not that I'm aware of, with it. So I think a lot of the information is there. So I think what I see with what Leah and Inger are talking about is a way to maybe kind of condense some of that information, put it in one place where people can easily get it, and also track how they're using it, is what I see. I'll jump in with a question with this. So, you talk about, doing this and having a full launch in spring of 26. So you guys go home for the summer or you graduate. How does this continue to move forward? Is this something that when you say partner with the City of Ames, hey, we've put this together and now it'll be the City of Ames' responsibility and we'll need to find staff time, to do it? Are there costs associated with keeping apps up to date? Because that's a concern from our end when we talk about implementation, because we could go through, Joshua, we have things where people have said in the parks, we'll do this. And then all of a sudden they go away and then people come to expect it. And now it takes staff time and resources to do something where we could be using those resources elsewhere. So how do you respond to that?
So we would just need help with that initial launch. And then when we are having our meeting with Kira, she is the department head at Iowa State, they are hoping to use it as a capstone project to maintain the app. So they would offer it as a project for their students there, and then they would maintain that app and it would give them experience to complete that project.
Yeah, and we can like train the students and then pass on to the next year students. So we can go on and on.
And since it is a requirement, that project is a requirement for a few departments. And so that's how we would assure that it would be maintained with people completing that project.
I don't know, Courtney, Joshua, do you have any questions?
Not right now.
Anybody else?
If I have just one piece of advice, I really wanted to see those figures you presented early on in your presentation, and you kind of blew by them real fast. I'd love to see those things. So can you provide those to us?
Certainly.
Not right now.
Not right now. Oh, later on. Okay.
And what I guess what we could do, Jeff, is we do have the PowerPoints.
Okay.
So what we can do is we can send those out to commissioners so you can take a little bit more time to go through. Because both groups actually went through their information, really quickly.
Well,
I had the benefit to preview them beforehand, so
Well, both
we
groups
can
put
send those out.
a lot of time into these presentations. So I want to fully understand what y'all did.
Certainly, yeah.
So.
And if you do have that flyer with you as well, you can actually scan that QR code there as
There you
well. If
Oh,
you'd like to take it home with you and kind of go through.
Yeah, you can go through
you
our
can enter your
prototype and
information,
see.
It'll kind of give you more
so
personal.
you're giving me homework tonight. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, in 1 week's time, they created the app and they were actually using the app when we were judging, which absolutely stunned me.
Wow.
And it was interactive. So it wasn't just like a screenshot or pretend. It's actually an active app. And Kat and Keith, you channeled me because if they remember, the first question I asked is, how are you going to go ahead and maintain this? Because I said it's got to be low cost and staff time costs money essentially. So I think that's something that if you want to pursue talking about it, that'd be a good thing to do and more or less can be turned over and easily maintained. Actually, that's probably Joshua's other duties as assigned, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, right. So anyway, well, I just want to, I'll tell you, I was just dumbfounded by, there was 10 groups and they all put a lot of time into it. And they took this seriously. They got the assignment, I think it was Sunday afternoon, and Friday night we were judging. And they had one check-in. And there was I think about 30 some students, I think, participated. And there's only two places that, that they got monetary awards. The other 8, got some, resume building, type stuff. But one of our commitments, and one of my commitments is just to strengthen and build that relationship between Iowa State, and the city of Ames, and see that you're part of the city. And I just am thrilled that we were given the chance to participate, communicate, and it was community fitness, and it wasn't just Iowa State fitness. And so we spent some time talking about what are some of the challenges that we have. And Jeff, to your point about, on the first one about, where accessibility, and you got to think about the fact that it's not just 18 to 22-year-olds or 24-year-olds. You have people from all different walks of life. I think they really tried to do that. Are there holes in some of them? Sure. But the point is, to me, if it looks like it's intriguing, then I think they're up for the task to try and make it better. And if not, that's fine too. There's absolutely no pressure. But I wanted to share that with you and let you see what was being done. And the point is, opportunity maybe to try and really further champion our park trail and calendar system. And maybe your mind starts going to how else could it be used. So anyway, do appreciate your time. I know you got a lot of things on your agenda. So if you have any other questions, happy to take them. Otherwise, I think that these fine ladies probably have other things to do also. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
You guys, thank you so much.
We're going to go, I'll ask the commissioners. We kind of have 3 options with this. We can direct staff to move forward with, looking into one of the 2 options. We can table it for further review as we, do some more research with these, or we can move forward without it doing any direction at all. So that's where you guys probably need to make a decision on this. One of those options.
You want to table it? Take a look at some of this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I move to table it. Future. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, that's not a bad thing at all.
So
Go ahead.
again, we'll have a motion for tabling it so we can research some more and explore this at a future time. All commissioners in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay. So we'll readdress this after we have some time to explore the app and look into the passport. Thank you,
Is there any additional information? Because we could bring this back at the December meeting, because obviously, the staff or these four ladies, right now. And I don't know, our next meeting, I think, is December 18th. I don't know if you'll even be in town on that date, but if there is any additional information, I can send you the PowerPoints. You could look at a little bit more. Is there anything else that you want to be able to have meaningful conversation on the 18th of December?
I would absolutely, for both groups, like to see a realistic staff time analysis. Our staff is incredibly crunched with our projects and all of the activities that go on. So the realistic implication of any of these would be how much is staff going to need to do on a startup basis and a continuing basis for both projects.
And maybe a visit with the library on the passport and just see, and maybe thoughts of, like Keith said, how you could incorporate the Ames Park and Recs with that maybe. So maybe a little brainstorming on that and check with the library and see if they would be on board, or, that would be nice too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we may have some additional questions or comments after we've had a chance to look at the slides, look at the PowerPoint.
So with that, if there are, if you wanted to funnel, questions or any additional information, you could funnel that through me, and then I can, be in contact with the groups and be kind of that liaison between the two. So.
Sounds great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Move forward. Our next item on our agenda today is the 60 Forward year-end review.
Yeah, so we have Deb Schildroth, who's director for 60 Forward, former assistant city manager with the city of Ames. Worked closely with Deb for a number of years, and really call it a year-end review. It's really from, and she's going to go through this, but the first year of operation, and we just felt that we spent a lot of time talking about things early on and before it got going, and some of the programmatic things. And now Deb is going to tell you if it was successful or not.
All right. Well, thank you. Good afternoon, commissioners, and thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank Keith and all of his staff with their involvement in the 60 Forward initiative, because it's truly a partnership. And we wouldn't be able to do the things that we've accomplished this first year of business without their involvement in leadership. So thank you for that. There we go. So just a quick recap on the 60 Forward initiative. It is a partnership that involves three entities: City of Ames Parks and Recreation, Heartland of Story County, and then Mary Greeley Medical Center. And the whole point around the initiative is so that 60 Forward can leverage staff expertise, programs, services, facilities to help connect people 60 plus, so that's our demographic, to achieve the things that are up there on the screen: physical activity, social networking, and health and nutrition. And when we do our orientation sessions at 60 Forward, we talk about those three bullet points. They're important to all of us throughout our life, but they are the focus, the things that we major on with our programs and services through 60 Forward. So our year that we're looking at is really October 1st of 2024. We did open on September 30th of 2024, but October 1st through August. We pulled this presentation together through our 60 Forward leadership team, and then we presented the information to the staff of the three partners. So Parks and Rec staff, Mary Greeley Medical Center, and Heartland. We had a stakeholders meeting on September 11th. So we shared this information at that point in time. And so the things that I'm really going to focus on are things that really pull in Parks and Recreation. I just want to be mindful of your time and in your agenda. So I'm going to go through this quickly, but I do want questions. So the strength and cardio room, that is a room that is well used by people 60 plus in the community and outside of Ames. And so numbers are, and I got these from Nancy Shaw, we now have over 500 individuals who have successfully onboarded and are using the strength and cardio room. So we have 8 pieces of e-gym equipment in that room. So that equipment is tailored to each individual in terms of how much they can lift, push, and pull. And then we've got 6 pieces of more traditional types of equipment. So elliptical machine, new step machines, as well as treadmills. So people have a variety of machines that they can use. So there are 10 out of 15 Story County communities that have individuals coming and using the room. Over half of the individuals are using equipment for the first time in their fitness routine. So that tells us that people are really seeing the benefits and enjoying that equipment. The wellness room, we also call it the fitness room. That's the room where Nancy Shaw and her staff provide the fitness classes. So we have about 15 classes a week that are offered to individuals. And these are just examples. We've got a couple types of yoga. We have a dance fusion class. That's actually tonight at 4:15. They're already in session. Tai Chi, and then a real popular class is balance, strength, and stretch. So there's an average of about 12 people in each of the classes. And we have over 360 individuals that participate. And 8 of the 15 Story County communities are represented. So again, we're seeing participation outside of Ames as well. Duck pin bowling, we have 2 lanes of duck pin bowling, and it's an automated system, which is really nice. So the pins reset automatically, the score is kept automatically, and there's a ball return. We had the first duck pin bowling league this last winter, where we had about 8 people who participated. We actually I think we just wrapped up our second league yesterday, our fall league. And we have a winter league that's planned and will start up in January. So Parks and Recreation staff do a clinic first to talk with individuals about the history of duck pin bowling and what it's about. And then they come every week and actually play. So we really appreciate that opportunity. And we see a lot of the individuals who've participated in the leagues then return thereafter on a weekly basis just to play. We have open play from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Primetime Alive, these are just educational programs that are offered through Mary Greeley Medical Center. So we've had over 20 monthly education programs on different types of topics. They actually had a program today. We had over 60 people in our multi-purpose room, and the topic today was on artificial intelligence. So of course it drew a lot of attention. And so we're very fortunate to have those programs available. Story County Public Health, which is an arm of Mary Greeley, they offer a couple different Keys to Brain fitness classes. Of course, the Foot Care Clinic is there twice a month, and then Bingo Size is held a couple times a week. And that's a class that incorporates nutrition, light physical activity to the game of bingo, and people really enjoy that. Heartland Story County, our adult day center, we are able to really grow that particular program that's available to people who have chronic health conditions or have some type of cognitive decline. And we're serving about 45 participants altogether. And we increased quite a bit from where we were offering the program before. While the building was being built, we were offering ADC at a small conference room at the Green Hills Retirement Community. So once we opened our doors to the 60 Forward Center, we were able to bring more participants in. And so it's a well-used program, and we're continuing then to increase participation. Another cool thing that we're offering is tech support. We're partnering with Ames High School to bring students in to help people figure out their devices, whether it's adding contacts, getting rid of a virus, figuring out some apps that they've downloaded. And starting next month, I believe, we are increasing this to every week, and Mary Greeley Medical Center's IT staff are going to come on site and help provide tech support. So it's a very popular class. getting the word out about 60 Forward. We do a lot of electronic means in this. We have our 60forward.org website, 2 social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram, and then our monthly e-newsletter that goes out to a number of subscribers. And those numbers are all up. Again, this was as of August. We appreciate Keith's work in helping to get the word out about 60 Forward programming through the weekly email that goes out from Parks and Recreation. That's just another helpful tool in our toolbox to get people aware of 60 Forward. Passing through our doors between October of last year and this August, we had an average of about 27,040 visitors. And last November was our standout month, while February was the smallest month, of course, with winter. And we see a lot of snowbirds, or miss a lot of snowbirds. So they return to us in the spring. The bistro, of course, the bistro is open to anybody. You don't have to be 60 and older to come and enjoy food and beverage. We averaged 1,225 tickets per month the first year. And those are our top 5 menu items, and they're pretty much still the top 5 menu items. We do breakfast and lunch, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Open for questions and comments.
Thank you for coming and sharing. We love the 60 Forward Center, and it's really nice to get an update. Open for commissioner comments.
Deb,
Oh, I was going
no, you go.
to. I see that you have done the north entrance.
Yes,
Yeah, which
yes.
is going to be nice. Yes, can you expand on that just a little bit?
Absolutely. We call it the North Vestibule. It is completed and it is in use as of about the second week in October. That was added as a result of the parking lot to the north, which we lease from the business group next door to us. The south lot is our lot. It's got about 50 parking spaces. I'm so thankful to have access to that north lot because that south lot fills up so quickly so people can park in the north lot. And now we have year-round access into the building by adding that vestibule. So we're very, very thankful for that. And I think it wasn't part of the original plan for the building because we didn't get access to that north lot until about 3 months before we opened.
Mhm.
And so it became an addition after our initial opening.
I've heard good things about that.
Wonderful. That's good to hear.
Deb, you guys do great work. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
What about funding? Are you solvent? Are you secure? Do you have fundraising activities coming up?
Yeah.
What's the status?
So as a nonprofit organization, we're always fundraising. And so that's always something that is first and foremost in our work. We are with the 60 Forward leadership team, and with that leadership team, Keith is on there as a representative for the city. Ron Smith is representing Mary Greeley. Myself is with Heartland, and then we have Jenny Schill, who's our program coordinator, and then Corey Hoyce with marketing. And so we're always talking about what are the sustainable ways to fund 60 Forward going forward. We're sustainable now. I mean, we're in a good financial picture right now, but we're always looking at what are those additional funding avenues that we can pursue besides fundraising. And we talk about, do we have some sort of a foundation that we create, or do we look at who can be ongoing funders of 60 Forward, and maybe it's in terms of I don't want to call them ambassadors, but sponsors. Do we need a sponsorship types of program, and then what benefits come with that? And of course, we're looking at larger organizations. 60 Forward in and of itself doesn't have a membership program, so you don't purchase a membership and then get all these benefits. We did that by design. We want everybody to feel welcomed and inclusive in the space. And then depending on what program or service they participate in, there may or may not be a fee related to that. The Heartland programs, so our Adult Day Center, Meals on Wheels, outreach, those are all primarily funded through the asset process, and then we get some funding through aging resources. But we are looking at ongoing funding and long-term funding.
Thank you.
Yes.
Looking at your visitors, did you expect this much? Is it more than you expected? Is there goals for the future to add or subtract, or is this a sustainable amount of visitors that you guys are seeing?
Yeah, I definitely think it's sustainable. We want more. We want more people through the door. And that is not only to help support the bistro, because the plans with the bistro is that becomes a revenue source then for the rest of the building and the programs and services. But we want to continue adding to our program, listening to people's feedback. We have a feedback loop that we gather information and input so that we know what people are expecting for programs. What are some new program offerings? So we want to be engaged that way to people who are using the programs and services, and be responding then to what they expect. But that number, I don't think we really knew what to expect.
Right.
I will say the first 2 weeks that we were open, last September into October, I would come to work and the parking lot would be bare, and I'd be like going, oh, how do we get the word out? How do we get people through the doors? It started building. You know, it's just one of those things, you know, new space, people are driving by, not sure if they should stop, or is this just for people of a certain demographic? And I think we've done a really good job at helping people understand what 60 Forward is, and that the bistro is open to anybody, but that work always continues. And we're always talking about ways of getting information out. It was very helpful to hear from the Iowa State students. I did talk with several of them about, yes, we've got people in our demographic who are totally fine with electronics means, but we also have a demographic who still want paper. They want to hear it on the news. They want to hear it or see it in the newspaper. And so we're always in this space of figuring out the best way to communicate what we're doing.
And the second thing,
Yes.
I love the idea of this intergenerational partnership. I think a lot of our seniors don't or use, technology because they're just simply afraid of it. And having that ability, maybe they don't have a grandkids that can help them out. I think that's the neatest program that you guys implemented. So kudos.
Thank you.
I guess I would just add a couple of things on top of what Deb said, and the partnership and the relationship between Heartland and Mary Greeley and the City of Ames Parks and Recreation is going very well. I think one of the things that I thought was interesting when we had the stakeholders meeting that Deb talked about is already with a wide variety of people. There are people that are suggesting ideas that, hey, bring this group in, do this, do that, all those kinds of things. And the leadership team has really had to have some conversation about staying true to the vision of 60 Forward. And that sometimes has been difficult with some because, in fact, in one of the meetings, comment was made. It's like, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, we don't want to get to a point and it's like, how did we get here? This is not what we set this 60 Forward up for. So there's a lot of outside pressures because it's a new building. It's a very nice building. So I think that's just one thing that I think it's good for you to know that that is something that the leadership team is dealing with. I also, one thing that I want to add is, 60 Forward goes beyond the walls of the 60 Forward Center. Nate, who you'll hear from in a little bit, he started a 60 Forward golf league this year. Leanne and Courtney having conversation with Fitch opening sometime soon, already talking about 60 Forward lap swimming, 60 Forward water walking, other types of activities. So it does go, pickleball is something that you'll hear about in just a little bit from Courtney as well. So the 60 Forward aspect goes beyond the walls of the center. And I think that's important to know. And I will also, and you mentioned it already, Deb, but I will say with all of our staff, Courtney, Nate, Leanne, Alex, but I think really Nancy Shaw from the wellness aspect really has embraced this concept and really has done a tremendous job of getting classes that the 60 Forward demographic want. And how many we're getting? What, maybe 130 people registering for classes, something like that per session. Is that roughly?
Yeah, you could say that.
About that. So we're, so I really want to give Nancy, as well as all of our staff, hats off to all of them because they've embraced it. It's another opportunity for us to have a facility to program and partner with Deb and Heartland, and it has been very, very good.
Thank you for saying that, Keith, because one of the questions that we get quite often, especially during our orientation sessions, is, well, how are you going to partner with that new indoor aquatic center, that new swimming pool? And so we're like, Parks and Rec is already a partner. We'll make sure those opportunities are made available to people and people know about it. So I think in the community, they see how this has come kind of full circle, and they see and understand the partnership and how we're trying to make sure the information gets out to people and that there are a variety of programs available to people, and people of all income statuses and abilities. We really just want that inclusivity that happens. And I sure appreciate, we're accountable to one another in our 60 Forward leadership team about somebody comes up with an idea and then pretty soon we realize that could be mission drift. And so we want to stay true to what 60 Forward is about. We could easily go off the rails with suggestions that we get, but we want to be flexible, but yet we also want to stay true to what the people are expecting. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you and all the other stakeholders' hard work in this.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Come down and see us.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Deb.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, moving forward, we're going to go to the next item, Furman 2025 season review.
So we have Leanne Hawk, who is our aquatics manager, and then Nate Peets, who is our recreation manager, who does double duty. He's got the Homewood Golf Course, but then the clubhouse aspect, and then he also does admissions and concessions as well. So turn it over to them.
Awesome. So one of the things I want to talk about is we are open for 101 days. That's pretty significant. This year we had a lot of weather issues, but out of that, we only had 20 closures or partial closures. And as you can see, most of them were partial closures due to weather. Our staffing, and I just want to touch base a little bit on that. We have the last couple of years kind of revamped our schedule and allowing them to have shifts and choosing those shifts, and that has helped for us with staffing, but also I see more people are wanting to work at the pool, so that's exciting.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank all the staff that work there, not only admissions concessions, which I oversee, but also the deck side between lifeguards, shift leads, water slide attendants, swim instructors. I think this year had more staff willing to work as well, which made things, all the amenities open up for longer periods of time. So thanks to all the staff that helped make it a successful season.
We only had 2 days that we were actually closed amenities, but no days that we were closed completely due to low staffing. So 2 days of just amenities. So to recap, our applications are open now. We are opening them now for the Fitch and Furman, but last year we did it in December of 24.
All right, a little bit on the attendance side of things. This year we had a total of 86,900 visitors. It's above the average, above last year's numbers. So that was good to see there. Our typical admission type, you can see on the graph there, daily admissions was up quite a bit from last year, and our season pass holders were down this year. So that's what we were kind of predicting at the beginning of the season, just with season pass rates, and you never know with weather and whatnot. So things held true there. Season pass and punch card sales, we have different types of passes. So family passes, 60 plus passes, youth passes, those are the numbers there. Pretty true, pretty close to the averages there. Nothing too significant. End of season passes. This is something we did a few years ago that was new, where we sold a pass from August 1st to the end of the day there. It's well received. It was a little lower number than normal, but we do plan on offering that next year as well. And then concessions, pretty standard with the sales, 90,398. That's above the average, but in the last couple of years, it's been the trend. And with concessions, open roughly 41 hours per week there. And then rentals, we do have rentals at the facility there. 29 hours of rental time, a little bit below average, but a little more from last year in 2024 there.
Swimming lessons is a significant part of Furman, and we plan to move those swimming lessons to Fitch. That, I believe, will help with our participation, in that they don't have to battle the cold weather early in the morning having those swimming lessons. Some of those little ones are pretty cold and shivering and then don't want to participate that much. So excited to be able to move them over to Fitch, but we had 956 people registered for those swimming lessons through the summer, and we started June 10th and go all the way to August 4th. We stop right before they start going off to college and school, and we have them in the morning and evenings. Special events, as you can see, we had quite a few different special events. This year, our participation was significant with the weather. It seemed like every time we had a special event, the weather wanted to play the part in that event. But we get a lot of feedback from our participants and how much they enjoy them, even doing the little spins that we do for Twilight, of adding some inflatables or adding a game to that. It is something that they really look forward to.
Duck Derby for the Parks and Recreation Scholarship Fund was the third annual one. Sold 444 ducks and contributed just over $3,500 to that fund, which is awesome. The top 50 ducks did receive a prize donated by local businesses. And also want to give a shout out to the sponsors. The Mighty Duck was the Mucky Duck Pub, and then our community sponsor was First National Bank.
Safety plays a significant role in Furman. As you can see from this, the green dots are rescues. So we have a lot of rescues this year. It doesn't mean that it was bad. It's actually good. It tells us that the guards were on top of things, and many of the rescues that we had are things that are out of our control. Somebody falling, tripping and falling, somebody having a seizure. Those things we can't necessarily control. Nobody chooses where to have a heart attack. Nobody chooses where to have a stroke or something like that. We've not had any major events like that. But we did have 9 of the red dots are where we ended up calling EMS. So EMS was involved with that rescue. So those are the 9 dots there. 5 were heat related. If you remember, summer, we went from cold to hot in an instant. And a lot of people did not have time to adjust to that. So I'm sure that was a a factor in that. We had one possible assault on the trail, somebody tripping over their cane, and then 2 on the tube slide. We put out surveys to our community, and something that is very notable is as far as quality and how we are performing. In every category, it went up this year. So very proud of my staff, very proud of how that was received by the public. And then also participation was up or even in every category. So that was really great to see. But these are some of the things that comments that people made in the survey. So I'll open up to any questions that you may have.
Looks like a great year.
It was
Well
with the
done.
weather.
Well done.
Thank you.
I am a big water walker, so I love the water walking times. So thank you for letting those. I mean, there's good times for that, and it's packed.
It is.
That really gets used.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
And excited for Fitch coming that you can do that year round.
Right.
Native concessions revenues are flat. Looks like they are. Your expenses probably have gone up though, right?
They have a touch. Yes, that's true there.
Yeah. How do we increase revenue? I buy hot dog whenever I go. so.
Yeah, it might be looking at
Gotta get two.
opportunity to bring in different stuff too, try stuff that's new.
Yeah.
I'll look into other facilities too, see if there's what the new trend is around. Ask who I use to purchase products from, see if they have any more recommendations for concessions type
Yeah.
facilities.
Any other questions? Well, thank you for your time coming up. Appreciate the update.
Yeah.
And we'll look forward to a big season next year.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Then we'll go forward with Homewood 2025 season review.
All right, so we got
Not to
Nate.
go anywhere.
I'm here again.
Nate again with the clubhouse, and then Pat Wienia, who's our turf maintenance supervisor. He was not be able to be here tonight, so Josh was going to fill in. But we'll give a shout out to Nate and Pat and all of their staff. Again, just a great year. A lot of golfing, a lot of challenges sometimes with that many golfers, but staff does a super job keeping everything going, keeping everything in good shape, and we get a lot of positive comments about Homewood. So turn it over to Nate and Joshua.
Yeah. A little bit of recap here on the 2025 season. As Keith said, I want to echo thanks to staff again, both inside and outside. We had a lot of returning staff, which always helps out. But we were open for 225 days. That's 18 days less than last year. And 2 full days we were fully closed, and then 9 other ones like partial days. That doesn't count some days where we were maybe no golf carts or golf cart on path or golf carts on holes 3 through 5. When we do not have golf carts for a given day, our rounds do drop significantly there. So the rain does have affect our attendance quite a bit there. As far as rounds played, it was another very successful year, 25,881 rounds, well above the 5-year average. And that's just 72 rounds less than last year. And like I said earlier, that's with 18 days less of being open.
Yeah, in 18 less days.
Yeah. Yep. So
Crazy.
in July, we hit about a week straight where we didn't have any golf carts because we had a bunch of rain overnight and stuff like that. So passes sold, passes were up well above the 5-year annual average as well with 212. A little bit of the clubhouse staffing. I have about 14 staff there, and that kind of varies. Some are college students that do leave for the summer, but majority of staff are non-traditional. Only have 3 college students that are on staff, and the rest either retired or it's a part-time job for them or a weekend job. Some golf specials. We have discount days, Tuesdays and Sundays throughout the year, Father's Day, Mother's Day, and then also Youth Day. The father and mother, the youth play free with a paying customer there. And then we also have a youth rate, which is the second year of doing this. For 17 and under, it's just $12 for greens fees. And last year we had 489 participate, and this year we had 806. So it's something we're going to keep doing. It's well received, and the youth really appreciate that. And then golf leagues. You can see we have a lot. We have a men's league, a couples league, a city golf league, an Iowa State ladies league, a Homewood ladies league, a youth golf league, and then a 64 league that was new this year. And youth lessons, we typically host these at Vinker Driving Range and partner with them, and they are instructed by Nicole. We had 31 total participants, and then we plan on moving lessons to Homewood in 2026. It won't affect any of our revenues or tee times or anything like that. We have a plan to do them before one of our golf leagues starts, and we have some time available. And I think participants will really enjoy being like out on the golf course instead of like at a driving range. So they'll get that experience of what a golf course looks like and be able to play a couple holes as soon as they get through some of those beginner lessons. And then the clubhouse rentals, they're doing well. Any rental that you can think of, we've probably hosted it, if not, someone has asked about it there. So baby showers, bridal showers, Christmas holiday parties coming up, very popular. It was a record year for graduation parties in May. We had 20 total, and that went from beginning of May till the first week of June. So that's 2 to 3 graduations every Saturday, Sunday in May. And then some winter programs that are offered at the clubhouse. Euchre and cribbage are some card programs. We have some painting classes that we do offer, and Homewood for the holidays as well, which we have a painting class December 6th in the evening coming up, and Homewood for the holidays where Santa's going to come on December 6th as well. I might talk a little bit for Pat since he's not here, and Joshua might chime in a little bit as well. But it was a challenging year out on the golf course, especially with all the rain we had and the amount of play that we have as well. Pat and his staff, they do an excellent job every morning. They go out and they fill divots on tee boxes. They use 20 tons of sand this year just on the tee boxes. So you can imagine that's a lot of sand, but they have a great rotation of the tees, which helps all the grass come back once it gets back to that same spot throughout the year. A maintenance practice that we do aerify the greens. You can kind of see punch holes, they put sand down, they drag the sand in, and you can kind of see the end result there. It helps strengthen the roots and the condition of the greens. One key note too this year, we use 2.5 million gallons of water. That's 1 million gallons less than last year. So pretty hefty on the rain this year. Some of the conditions of the golf course going into winter, things are looking good, going well. A lot of leaves are down, but the staff's doing a great job of getting those off the course right now. One of the issues that we did have on the course, we have damage and theft almost every year. We decided to buy 2 trail cameras and put them out on our holes that we are not next to. So holes 3 and 4, which are the ones you can kind of see in the picture there, close to the park. So our trail cameras do help. It has helped prevent damage. We also posted in the clubhouse that we have cameras out on the course. That has helped tremendously with theft and people vandalizing things. So we plan on using those next year as well, just hopefully at the beginning of the season. So we didn't start that until roughly July, I would say. Another picture of the golf course there. It was great conditions. They do a great job, as you can tell, with the turf out there. Any questions about the golf course?
Nate, if I could make one comment. So one thing going into winter, City Council just recommended and awarded a contract to Construct of Ames to remove the pedestrian bridge that goes across from 9T to 9 Green and install a crossing, which would be basically a land bridge with a culvert that goes underneath it for the ravine. So that project just got awarded. It's gonna we'll have more details as far as the construction timeline in December, but that is one of the projects that will be taking place over this winter at the course. So And just to, just echo what Nate said, Nate and Pat have a really excellent relationship, and that's why they're very successful, just like many other facilities and all that we do in Parks and Recreation. Without those relationships, with Nate being in the clubhouse, Pat doing the coursework, and the staff, it's really neat to see. Being at that course, I started that course in 2008, and just to see how it's developed and just the play has just increased over that is just amazing to me, considering what was there to what is now. It's really neat. So congratulations to those folks.
Well, I'm your neighbor since I live right on Homewood, and you guys are a great neighbor. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work. So, thanks. Anything else? Nope.
Good job.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, deer hunting update.
Yeah, just wanted to give an update. As in September, the commission denied, the request to do hunting at Munn Woods, did not approve that. And we took that information to City Council. You're probably already aware of it, but City Council did wind up approving deer hunting in Munn Woods in that 5-acre spot. There were some questions. They did ask about, well, how could we do a better job? Chief Huff was there with me as well, and he mentioned some of the same things that were said here. That the program right now isn't all that effective. There aren't a lot of deer taken. When deer hunters go into an area, they push deer to other locations and things. But City Council did elect to approve deer hunting in Munn Woods. And what I want to just mention is with the commission, you guys and the mayor said it earlier. The commission plays an important role as it comes to Parks and Recreation, and I think this is a situation where the commission voted and on what they felt was right, and I really want to say that the commission should always continue to do that. You guys get the information, you take a look. You need to do what you feel is right. And with that said, council always has the ability to do something different if they choose to, which in this case they did. In my 30 years here in Ames, that doesn't happen very often. But I just want to let you know, don't ever start making decisions based on what you think council is going to do or council isn't going to do. You need to do what you feel is right. And then council can always, make a change if they choose to. But Joshua, if you just want to give a little update on what the details.
Yeah. So after City Council approved the hunting, worked with our GIS department to develop a map that could be presented to hunters. We also developed some signage, worked with Derek Gruters in the Ames Police Department, as he is the one that orchestrates this deer management through the police department. We sent out a letter to almost 200 residents around Munn Woods and Emma McCarthy Lee, just letting them know of what's going to be taking place. We posted signs at all the entrances to Emma McCarthy Lee Park and Munn Woods, and the hunting started on November 15th. And as of right now, Keith and I have received one email, and then I believe as of last week, police department had received 2 emails in regards to the just maybe questions or concerns.
Any questions or comments?
Have there been many people taking advantage of that, getting a tag or to hunt there?
I don't have an update on that. Yeah, at this time, I can come back in December with some more information.
Yeah, because it's very difficult. If they don't have to. Well, I think maybe they do have to let Derek know where they're going to hunt.
Yeah, I think Derek actually helps orchestrate. If an individual comes in, he only allows a certain amount of folks to the permission to hunt there.
Now, I will say council did ask, questions, some of the same questions. They said, what are some of the difficulties with Munn Woods, and it said, it's not very easily accessible. You can't field dress a deer in the woods. You have to take it out full weight. It's very difficult. They did ask the question. It's like, well, if council waived or put a moratorium on UTVs or ATVs, for a while so hunters could get deer out more easily. I said, you've got to be very cautious, with that, because people don't always know if they see an ATV or UTV in Munn Woods. They aren't going to know that it's just for deer hunting, and we have this in other locations and other parks, and said, it's going to be an unintended consequence with this, and when I said that, then the mayor said, nope, point well taken. We won't pursue it any further. But one of the things, and maybe we can just piggyback if we could jump down to item number 16. The Chief Huff is putting together the special urban deer task force, and per ordinance, there is to be a Parks and Recreation Commission member on that task force. He's looking to get them together in probably January after the holidays, and then they may meet 1, 2, however many times it's needed, but they will put together potentially some suggestions for city council to take a look at, and then either adopt or not adopt any changes. So with that, we do need to have a representative. So I don't know if somebody is interested in serving on the commission or on that task force, but do need to get a name to the chief. So is anybody interested?
I would say that probably Dwayne and I are out because our commission is going to be ending probably before the term of this would be fulfilled. So I would think that we would not be eligible. Just to throw that out there.
Do they want me on there?
It's I think sometimes it's good to have different perspectives on it, and there are there's somebody from Story County Conservation. There's the Iowa DNR. I think they already have. I can't think of Andy. Is that his name?
Yep, Kellner. Yep.
Yeah, Andy Kellner from the DNR is going to serve on it. I think there's somebody from ISU. The Derek Reuters would be on it, and there's a couple others. I don't remember exactly, who it is, but yeah. So just we need to have somebody.
I'll do it.
So how about if
Somebody.
if somebody wants to just make a motion for Janet and then take a vote on it?
Move to put Janet in the hot seat.
Second.
Motion on the table for Janet to be on the special urban deer task force, and a second. All commissioners in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, you are our new representative on the urban deer task force.
I'll learn a lot.
I will.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you, Janet. And I will forward your information to Chief Huff, and then he will be in contact with you.
Okay.
Well, thanks for the update on the deer hunting.
Yeah.
We're ready to move forward.
Yep.
All right. Park policies update.
Yeah. So with the park policies, with this one, we just went to City Council on Tuesday night, just to get them to direct staff to update ordinances. So we just shared what commission talked about in the past. We talked about potential ordinance changes, potential park rule changes, mentioned, that City Council makes ordinance changes. The commission's responsibility is to develop park rules. Went through that. They did have some questions in regards to a couple different things. They did not have an interest of making the 10-mile-an-hour speed limit an ordinance. They're good with leaving it as a park rule. There was some question in regards to enforcement, and I did mention that, with park rules, no matter what park rule we have, there is some personal responsibility to follow them. And really, as staff, and I give myself as an example, if I see somebody not smoking, I will go up to them and tell them, are you aware that there's no smoking in the parks? Same thing. If I'm out at Ada Hayden and I see somebody riding their bike 20 miles an hour, I'm going to stop them and say, look, you need to be respectful for everybody. And hopefully others will do some of that kind of, some self-policing. And I told them too, it's not about finding that person that's going 11 miles an hour or 12 miles an hour. That's not the point. The safety issues that we heard through our survey and what we have heard and what commission has heard when people have come to the commission, it's the people that are going a lot faster. So that was a concern. There was also the concern about e-bikes. One council member said, hey, what's going on with e-bikes? And we got to do something with them. And I said, well, when we look at it, almost 80% of the households with our survey, 80% of the households have somebody that owns a bicycle. Less than 10% of the households have somebody that own an e-bike. Now, is that on the rise? Yes. But it's one of those things, and did talk about what Joshua and I heard when we had the public input, is that for a lot of people, e-bikes is a way for people to continue enjoying something that they've done for a long time. And I mentioned, commission felt that was important. And our park should be open for multiple modes of transportation. And but there was a little bit of a question, but they didn't take any action on that aspect. So they did direct staff to develop an ordinance. So we will be bringing back ordinance changes on December 9th to council for them to hopefully adopt. And usually with ordinances, there's 3 readings. So I'm surprised that, and with it, now there may be people that come to the council meeting and talk about the 10-mile-an-hour speed limit. But again, it's a park rule. So if people are not in agreement with it, they should be coming to the commission, to have that conversation. So, and we'll share that as well. One council member did really appreciate the fact that foraging is now allowed. So I think those were some of the, the main points. There were talks about, I guess firearms was another one. We did talk about, could we do a park rule and not allow firearms, but we did check with the city attorney. The city attorney said, no, you cannot. So firearms are allowed, but we still are leaving the ordinance, or want the ordinance, take firearms out, but all the other projectiles. And one council member did question, well, if we allow bow and arrows or bow hunting for in the park system, why are we disallowing bow and arrows? And I said, that is an exception. We do not want people going out into the park system and flinging arrows for either target practice or other things. So we strongly believe that all other projectiles, we can put an exception in there for bow hunting, but all other projectiles should not be allowed in the park system for everybody's safety. And then they dropped it. So I think we're good from that standpoint. So I don't know, any questions with it? So what we will bring back at some point is that final draft of park rules, and for it may be as early as December 18th, that then commission can say, yes, we do adopt these park rules and move forward. So, and then we can go through that. Any questions? No, very good.
A lot of work. Move forward. CIP, capital improvement plan.
Yeah, with this one, just want to say we're still, finalizing, a couple of items with that. At the December 4th meeting with the city manager, we'll give you a much more detailed. There isn't anything too earth shaking, with, you've given us some direction, with it. We'll show you what will be added into year 5, which is a lot of times new things. We do have new roof on the Parks and Recreation Administration building. We are proposing a total reconstruction of the tennis courts and basketball courts at Innis Grove, and then hopefully getting some the north parking lot, at Ada Hayden. Start doing some improvements with that. We also did add into year 1 using some of the Homewood fund balance, so it doesn't affect local option sales tax or so, to increase parking. And we've got we'll take some money right now. I guess we put it in 26, 27 for that, but we'll take some money yet this year. Get somebody to do a design, and then hopefully we can, get some additional parking out there, because that when we have like what Nate was talking about with all the graduation parties and the other events, and we've got golf going on, parking is at a premium, and there isn't enough. So those are just a few highlights. Is there any other major highlight that I missed?
I think so. No.
So, all right. So, any questions on that? But we'll give you a more of a detailed rundown on December 4th.
All right. Next up, Ames Cyclone Aquatics Club 2026 Furman Aquatic Center Practice Agreement.
Yeah, this is the annual agreement with Ames Cyclone Aquatics Club to allow them to use the 50-meter basin for their practices during the summer. This year, they are requesting to use the pool, or this next season. So in 2026, they're requesting to use the pool May 27th through August 7th. And if you remember a few years ago, we did work with ACAC staff to work on an agreement to gradually get them to a rental rate of 40% of the provided or the given rental fee for that season. So this is the 3rd year of that rotation. So they have achieved. So in 2026, they will be at that 40% of the rental rate, which since we have adopted that has not increased. When we first adopted that a few years back in 2024, when that started, we had just done an increase, and we have not seen it increase yet, just due to the price of the rental rate right now. So their cost would be $82 an hour, which is 40% of that rental rate. And then if that rental rate ever changes, their hourly fee would adjust as well. So ACAC has reviewed the agreement for 2026 and has returned the agreement signed. So staff is recommending approving alternative 1, approving the agreement with Ames Cyclone Aquatics Club to use the 50-meter basin at Furman Aquatic Center from May 27th, 2026 to August 7th, 2026 for practices for a minimum amount of $6,560. And again, that's a minimum amount because there are final 2 weeks. They aren't for sure of what their committed time allocation will be. And so it would be minimally for what they have committed to. And then those final 2 weeks, if they do choose, they have to confirm those dates with us by June 30th. Then it would be in addition to that cost.
Very good. Commissioners, any questions for clarification? Is there a motion on the table?
Move approval of option 1.
I second it.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of alternative 1, approving the practice agreement, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. And passes unanimously. Thank you. Next up, the Blue Stem Boulder Agreement.
Yes, so this is a new partnership that we are exploring with Blue Stem Boulders, new business within the last year to Ames, located on the just east of the resource recovery. We have had conversations with them to partner to offer Learn to Boulder classes for youth and adult, something that we don't have the facility to do or the capabilities or within our staff right now to do that. So partnering with them would be an avenue for us to provide a new class offering to the public, to provide a new avenue for recreation. So they have reviewed this agreement and signed it as well. So this would be a similar agreement that we have with others, to where we would be doing the class registration. We would be doing the marketing materials and those types of things. So we would do the setup and prep for the class, with Bluestem also helping in those promotional efforts. And then Bluestem would be providing the facilities and the instructors for the class. So that would be at a 70-30 split. Bluestem would retain 70% of the registration fees, while the city would retain 30%. So with the agreement with Bluestem Boulder and our excitement to offer this class starting in January, the first sessions, we recommend approving Alternative 1 to approve the Bluestem Boulder agreement through December 31st, 2026. And that with it expanding through December 36th, it provides us the opportunity to develop and grow through the partnership throughout the year, as well as what is successful and what the demand is from our customers.
Any questions from commissioners?
What type of classes? I mean, can you give a little more details on what type of classes these would be?
Yeah, so we're going to start out with a Learn to Boulder class. So it'd be for youth ages up to 13 years of age, so 7 to 13, and then it would be 14 plus for the adult. And it's basically, so Learn to Bouldering, so they have different boulders and design. So it's really just the techniques and introduction to get people familiar with the facility and what bouldering is. So it's not it's not harnessing, it's just free climbing that they have available there at their facility.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? No. Do I have a motion for this?
I move to accept alternative 1.
I'll second it.
And there's second. Any discussion? None. All those in favor of approving Alternative 1 for the Bluestem Boulder agreement, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, unanimous. Thank you. Next up, Harvest Pickleball and Tennis Agreement.
Yes, another new agreement that we have brought forth tonight. So Harvest Pickleball and Tennis reached out to 60 Forward and Parks and Recreation staff with what they're seeing over at 60 Forward. They saw an opportunity to get involved with the community and reached out to 60 Forward initially to Deb and her staff and said, wanted to get involved to see how they could play a part with the facility that they have and the amount of courts that they have available. And so with that discussion that Deb mentioned earlier, as far as mission drift, so that's one of the main goals, obviously, with Mary Greeley Parks and Recreation and Heartland Senior Services, is to not compete with partners and bring in different programs. Since we already offer pickleball leagues, all of our pickleball leagues right now we do mainly in the summer and the fall out at the parks, and so they brought that forth to us, to where then we were able to go and have conversations with Harvest to see what opportunities presented. So this is the development and the start of, to where we would start with that age group of the 60 plus to offer a 60 plus pickleball league indoors starting in January. That would run to a similar structure of some of our pickleball leagues that we already do. And this also is an agreement that would go through the end of the year. So we would do 60 plus right now, see what the response is, but then also be able to grow to other, youth, adult, intergenerational, whatever it may be, from leagues, tournaments, etc. So it gives us a lot of opportunities to grow within the partnership as well. So similar to how it would work, Harvest has the facility that they would be able to provide all 6 pickleball courts for us to use. They would provide on-site game management and supervision. They would also provide all the awards for any leagues or tournaments that we do. And the city would do the registration. We would collect all the fees. We would do the marketing material, obviously reach out to our current customers. We would do the league scheduling and those types of components as well. And we have agreed upon a 50-50 split for this partnership. In working with Harvest, again, they have reviewed this and they have also signed the agreement. So we are asking approval of alternate one, approval of the pickleball agreement with Harvest Pickleball and Tennis through December 31st, 2026.
I make a motion to approve alternative one.
Second.
Motion's on the table for alternative one. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, unanimous. I'd like to make a comment. I love these public-private agreements. I think it does nothing but strengthen our community. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for that comment. And thanks to Courtney and for spearheading some of these arrangements and going and meeting with the groups along with other staff and bringing these to fruition. So.
Very, very awesome. Thank you. Next up, ISU land adjacent Moore Memorial Park.
Yeah, so we've talked about the bridge that's going to be going in and so on. So one of the things that just wanted the conversations that we've had with Iowa State is right now where you see that Moore Memorial Park, you can see where Iowa Creek kind of runs through and again, there used to be farmland that we have now converted to prairie right there. And with that, we worked with WPC, Water Pollution Control, their nutrient reduction program. So they paid for that conversion and now we're managing it. So part of the lease agreement that we're working on with Iowa State for the bridge and for the trail that will go up Shoal Road all the way to Ontario, right now where it says ISU property, that is still farmed. All right. And one of the things that we talked about, we have concerns because with the portion of Shoal Road, if you want to point that out, Joshua, that part right now is gravel, and the best location for us to put the trail would be right on that road, because on both sides of the road it's steep. We'd have to do a lot of clearing. So ISU and the city both agree that would be the best location. But when it continues to farm, if they're going to bring equipment down and stuff like that, that's not a good option when that happens. So they, with their ag department who farms that, they are looking to get out of farming that. And with it, they have kind of posed it to other ISU departments to see if somebody would be interested in doing something with that land, whether it's research or anything along those lines. And nobody has really stepped forward. So we had conversation with them and said, well, what if ISU leased that section to the city, all right, at no cost? I've already had conversations with the John Dunn, director of WPC, and he thinks this is another good use of the nutrient reduction monies, where they could come in and obviously they would pay for it. We would probably coordinate it, but convert that all to prairie. And then because we would lease it, we already have, we'll already be doing things with the prairie that we have. So we would just kind of wrap that in and manage that all as kind of one area. What it also does is we will be mowing trails through our prairie. We could mow some trails through their prairie as well. We talked about maybe some educational signage, some interpretive signage, along the way also. So what I wanted to do is, we've discussed this with staff and we think it's feasible. Again, trying to take more of a global look at this is what we're trying to do as a city. And that's where, at times you see, we'll talk about nutrient reduction goals, sustainability, all those different types of things that we have going on through different departments, and try to work together to see if there are ways to help one another out. And we think this is a win-win for it. Obviously get the crops out of there and put the prairie in. Obviously good for pollinators and other wildlife and things. So what we wanted to do is just get any feedback from the commission. Good idea, bad idea, timing, just because we're going to be, finalizing this agreement, and this most likely will be a different agreement than the easements that we have for the trail. But through these conversations, we'd like to kind of wrap the lease into it if it's something that that commission thinks is worthwhile to go after. So, comments? Did I miss anything, Joshua?
Well, I can say I'm wildly enthusiastic. This is a great idea. There's some nice, it's fairly flat. I think it won't be easy to convert. Obviously, that takes some real work to convert to good prairie. But I think there can be good trails in there. And I think that's one thing we really need are some good prairie trails in the town. And it'll be well worthwhile. It's going to make some of the trails adjacent to that, Peggy's Trail in the Reactor Woods, a bit that will still belong to ISU, a little more problematic in some ways.
Where is that trail comparatively on this map?
It's to the southwest of that, to the lower left, I'm sorry.
Oh, the lower left.
Yes, and so it runs all the way up from where you can't see it quite on the bottom to where you can't quite see it on the middle left. And there's a system of trails in there.
Right.
And it really is this is right up to, I believe, the city property line on the far northwest part of that.
You mean the Iowa State property line? No. The city. Over here.
Well, yeah, and I'm talking to
way over
Onion Creek up there at the far left top.
Yes.
I believe that's right at the city line. Anyway, no, I think this is a fantastic thing to do. We need that kind of trail, and this will give some really longer distance jogging lines on it, and potentially bicycle.
I'll chime in. I think I couldn't agree more. I think of Skunk River Flats. If you've been down there, it's beautiful to walk the trails, the mowed trails through there in the prairie. It does create a very diverse flora and fauna. That's something that we can absolutely utilize. And I think it's a good partner if ISU is willing to be, it's not a great property to farm anymore. So I think it's wonderful if we can convert that over. Thank you.
I agree.
Any comments, Jeff?
Sounds good to me. Let's get that land.
Are you looking for a motion or anything?
Yeah, I think if you could make a motion to pursue this, and obviously with a lease, this ISU they seem amenable to it, but it would eventually need to go to city council to approve that lease. But yeah, if you wanted to make a motion to direct staff to pursue this as an option, that would be great.
Commissioners, is there a motion on the table to pursue staff to seek out prairie conversion through WPC nutrient reduction funding in a partnership with the ISU?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? None. Hearing none. All those in favor of pursuing that staff direction, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none. Passes. We've already gone through 16. We're going to jump up to 17, project updates.
Yeah, with Fitch Family Indoor Aquatic Center, a lot of things that are going on. We do have that tour for at noon on December 4th. We will have some council members there as well. We did invite the Board of Supervisors. It doesn't look like they'll be able to attend, but by December 4th, you will see a lot of things in the non-natatorium that you haven't seen before. Everything's not everything, but a lot of things are, the drywall is done, paint's on the wall. dividers in the multi-purpose room, casework is going in, partitions are in the women's restroom. We got the changing tables, in. There's just a lot of things that are happening. Toilets, sinks, all that stuff is going in. The resinous flooring. So you're really going to see a lot of progress from when we went through there in June. And then in the natatorium, the lap pool and the wellness pool is pretty much done. A few things that need to do with that. They're getting ready to pour the walls for the current channel. The basin of the rec pool or the zero depth pool is done. They've got footings poured for the slide. That might even be partially constructed by the time we get in there. So just a lot of things happening. Tile around some of the pool edges is going in. They had some of that in the wellness pool already when we were there yesterday. So a lot of good things happening with it. Pavers on the parking lot are in. There's a few things that have surfaced that we're trying to work through as staff, but we'll keep working through those and hopefully when it's all said and done, nobody even knows that any of those things were issues. But right now we're with change orders, we're just under $400,000, 379. So the $1 million of remediation. I think we spent $7,700, and that was for the meter to check for contamination with the soil. That's about the only thing that we spent out of that. And out of the 2.1, we still have over 1.7 million left. So we do have some other change orders coming up, and we'll use about 700,000 of it for solar to get put up on the roof. So yeah, we're very pleased with how things are progressing, and Joshua and Courtney are working on all the FF&E, the furniture, fixtures, and equipment, and get all that purchased. And substantial completion is still looking at January 20th, with hopefully an opening in March. Good. So
Great job.
Yeah. The two have put in a lot of work, and as well as some of our other staff, and we'll be going to council probably December 16th to just give them an update for budget, the fees, because we will want to start selling passes and everything. So we'll give them an update. We'll give you an update on the 18th and as well with all that information. Anything, Miss?
I don't think so.
Sounds like a lot of work. Stephen
It is.
Schenker Plaza.
Yeah, so with the plaza, not really much happening with it. Well, I can't say that. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. Still going back between the contractor and the city. There will be some information given to city council next Tuesday. That'll be in a closed session, and we'll see what the direction city council gives at that point. So other than that, not much of an update.
Thank you. Let's go forward. Monthly report.
A lot of information in the report that you guys can review, but one of the two things I realized that I didn't put in there is that in August we submitted 2 grant applications to the Iowa DNR for the REAP program. One for the pedestrian bridge in Moore Memorial Park for $200,000, and one was for a pedestrian bridge crossing in Ontario Park. And we found out in late October that both were approved, and we're going to receive close to $400,000 from the Iowa DNR to go towards those 2 projects. So that's pretty exciting. And we've received multiple REAP grants in the past. Sometimes they're really, really competitive. They're competitive. They were competitive this year. So just thankful that we get to continue to go forward with those projects and have the funding there for it.
Really benefit our park system. Thank you. Next up, commissioner member comments. Hearing none. It was a long meeting. I'd like to remind our viewers that are watching at home, since there's no one in the audience, we'll have our CIP workshop at December 4th at Homewood Golf Course in the clubhouse, and then our regular scheduled meeting December 18th right here at the council chambers. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Move to adjourn.